I am Brian from Snyk, and if you are developing Java or JVM applications using Maven, this video is for you. Maven is the most commonly used build system in the Java ecosystem, and it has been for many years. Building your application with Maven is easy since it takes care of many things in the different phases of the Maven lifecycle. One of these things is downloading the dependencies you define in your POM file. The ideal time to start checking your dependencies for security vulnerabilities is the very moment you import them. To that end, we created the Snyk Maven plugin, so you can scan your applications for security vulnerabilities in third-party libraries as part of your build cycle. The Snyk plugin for Maven is generally available and published on Maven Central. You only need to configure it in your pom.xml file. The example code is available on the GitHub repository, and you can find the link in the description. We distinguish two different goals: test and monitor. After adding the plugin to your project, simply call Maven Snyk Test or Maven Snyk Monitor. By default, the Snyk Test goal connects to the Maven test phase in your lifecycle. This means that after the Maven test phase completed, the Snyk Test goal executed automatically. The Snyk Monitor goal connects to the install phase and works in the same way. You can change its behavior by adding a phase tag. It can be set to an existing phase like test, package, verify, or none. In this example, I connected Snyk Test to the verify phase and the Snyk Monitor to none. Now Maven Snyk Monitor is still available manually, but will not execute automatically as part of a phase in the build lifecycle. To configure the plugin, you need to set the API token to enable dependency security scanning with Snyk. You can find the token in the general settings part inside your Snyk account. If you do not have an account yet, you can sign up for a free one. Notice that I don't put the token in the POM file. Instead, I create a global environment variable on my machine and refer to that. This way, I do not have my secret token in the POM file, which is especially useful when you publish your code to an open source repository. The Snyk Maven plugin uses the Snyk CLI under the cover. It automatically downloads and updates the appropriate CLI binary, so the CLI doesn't need to be pre-installed. In the args part of the configuration, you can provide any flag you normally provide to the CLI. In this case, I provide the all project flag, so all my projects, regardless of the ecosystem, will be scanned in one go. This is especially useful if, for instance, I use multiple POM files in a project. By default, the CLI automatically updates daily on the first execution. Still, if you want to use a specific binary, a specific version of the CLI, or change the update strategy, you can add a CLI object inside the configuration. I changed the update policy to always. As a result, the plugin checks for a new CLI update at every execution and not just once a day. All possible settings are documented in the GitHub repository. Integrating Snyk open source scanning in your Maven build lifecycle feels very fluent and natural. With the new Snyk plugin for Maven, this integration is seamless and can be run in the same fashion on every machine, including your CI pipeline. Now you don't need to call the CLI manual anymore, and the configuration for running Snyk open source scanning is stored as part of the project. Why don't you give it a try?